In the United States, the Second Amendment guarantees our freedom and our right to bear arms. At the same time, there are statistics which are staggeringly high involving gun accidents. For example, in 2006, the National Rifle Association reported over 2 million firearm incidents or accidents. The common theme with all of these accidents were that they all could have been avoided. With the right amount of education, the right amount of knowledge on safe handling, and the right amount of knowledge on safe shooting practices. When you're thinking about firearm education, compare it to being a pilot. You don't, as a general civilian, walk into an airplane and expect to be able to fly it. There's some sort of education and training that is required in order to be a pilot. So, in relationship to a firearm, where can you find this education? To begin with, you can find it in your owner's manual. The owner's manual has intricate details on the operation of a firearm. It also has basic safety principles that should be followed while handling a firearm, and firing a firearm at that matter. The next place you might look is a local firing range. There are always experts on staff to ensure the firing range is safe at all times. Lastly, you can also look up firearm safety online at the National Rifle Association website, www.nrainstructors.org, or each state also offers a basic hunter education course where firearm principles are also covered. So now that you know where to look for education, let's talk about the safe handling of a weapon. The first thing you're going to do when you come in contact with a weapon is you're going to ensure muzzle control. You're going to make sure it's always pointed in a safe direction at all times. Next, you're going to do an initial inspection while keeping your finger clear of the trigger and outside of the trigger guard. So what you want to look for is you want to look at the status. This weapon, we can see the bolt is in the open position. So we're going to look into the chamber to make sure there's not a round chambered. And the chamber is up here where a bullet is fed to be fired. Next, we're going to look at the magazine. Magazines come in this fashion, or they also come in a fashion that can be inserted into the bottom of the stock. So we know it's clear, there's nothing in the chamber, there's nothing in the magazine. Now we want to look at, is the safety engaged? And the safety on this weapon is back here, and it is engaged. This weapon is clear and safe. So we've talked about the education, where to look for information on the safety items of your weapon. We've also talked about safe handling instructions. Now let's talk about safe shooting. The first thing you want to consider when you're taking your weapon and you're getting ready to fire it is you want to make sure, again, positive muzzle control. Make sure it's pointed in a safe direction at all times. Or make sure it's directly pointed at your intended point of impact. Next, you want to consider what's between your muzzle and your point of impact. You want to recognize what's in between you and your target to make sure there are no obstructions. Make sure there are no people or animals that are going to be harmed unintentionally. The last one, and the most commonly overlooked, is you want to identify what's beyond your target. Not everybody's a marksman, not everybody shoots well. Also, bullets penetrate things and go through targets. So you want to make sure there is nothing beyond your intended target that could be harmed, hurt, or injured when you fire that weapon. So we've talked about where you can find education, we've talked about safe handling, and we've talked about safe shooting of the weapon. I want each and every one of you to understand that there are no bad weapons. There are bad principles applied to weapons. Bad safety, bad handling of the weapons. Anytime you handle a weapon, you need to be systematic and ensure it's the same safe steps every time. Whether you're picking it up, whether you're putting it away, you make sure it's in a safe condition. Next, the next principle I want you to understand is recommended highly by the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, and that is Treat every weapon as if they were loaded at all times. This is paramount to safety. And practicing these principles and treating a weapon as if it were loaded at all times will greatly reduce, if not eliminate, chances of accidents with firearms. Thank you.